Hi folks, Peter here, Managing Director of Remarkable Law Consultancy Limited. Just doing actually a really quick vlog as I walk to see my client. It's just centred on what we do with students who don't make the actual cut for your cohort when you're assessing them for eligibility and viability of a CAS. There is a growing number of institutions that are outsourcing their pre-CAS process. So it's a pre-CAS interview process really is what's been outsourced. And the method of assessment is a mix of, can be a mix of AI algorithm and also human assessment based on AI influence. It could also be a team that is assessing them for viability of a CAS, which is fine. What I would say, and my advice is to sponsors, is to just keep pressure testing and pulling out your interviews for review, because you want to make sure that you're not losing students that are good, but just maybe not ready for that cohort. So in my experience of assessing pre-CAS interviews for clients in the past, and pressure testing the accuracy of their assessments, what I tend to find is there's definitely a percentage which are not going to be ready even in the next cohort, and therefore they should either do a lot of work or think of a different direction for their future. But the percentage of those of out and out fails at the pre-CAS interview, I would say the percentage is smaller than the percentage of students I'm finding that have been failed outright, but I would assess them as actually being a deferred student. So with some extra support from their agent or from themselves, researching more, getting their knowledge of their courses or their assessment, how their course is assessed, a bit more knowledge about their institution. So obviously bear in mind that the student will apply for a number of different institutions and courses, as does a domestic student. So with that, they just might not have been as focused in the interview for that university and that course. So giving them the opportunity to go away with support, and this is something I'm really encouraging sponsors and agents on now, is that it's a much better method of student care and business sense, is to talk to that student who you don't feel would make the cut, and if it's too late on, and you value them and you say, well, actually, we think you're definitely a really good, credible student, but you're just not prepped right now. So we think with some extra help and support, you will be in a position to come into the next cohort. So that could be between any cohort if you have 2 or 3 throughout the year. From a commercial point of view, you're then retaining the student's deposit with the sponsor, which is good for the sponsor in terms of planning, and they know that that's just one extra student that they've already assessed. They've spent quite a considerable amount of time through the admissions process, getting them to a stage of qualification eligibility checks and all the financial documentation checking. From an agent perspective, if there's an agent linked to that student, it's good for them because their client has found the right institution, the right course, but just not ready, so they can do a piece of work helping them get to that state of readiness by guiding them with maybe their answers need to be a bit more in depth, a bit more knowledge about what their post-study work options could be, or how their previous study or current work relates to that course. And the student feels absolutely valued because they're not having to start the whole process again. And they're with an institution that they want to be with, or on a course that they want to do, but they just need to do a bit more work. So I'd find my closing sort of comments on this is be really mindful of the potential students that you're losing and never looking at again, to then repeat for the next cohort on a brand new batch of applications. So a bit more student retention thought process would be really positive. You're keeping that student hooked into university and the agent as well, and from the start the student is feeling that the university really wants them, which is an important feature. Okay, that's my thoughts on the way to work. Have a wonderful day and a weekend. Stay connected.